up there is a parrot. If you have lost a parrot, not a parakeet, there is a parrot on the loose in Lloyd Park.
I thought it might be somebody's parrot, and I thought I'll do a quick video, see if I can help reunite it with its owner. Nothing more serious than that. Now, it turns out it probably was a parakeet. I can't believe that that's actually news, but apparently so. It does trouble me that a lot of people say to me, I wouldn't want to do your job because of the abuse, because of the constant negativity that you face as a member of parliament. But I will worry about our democracy and our public life if we make it impossible for normal people who don't know everything about everything to be able to be part of it.
Bird-brained. That's the only way to explain the reality facing the humiliated Labour Ramona Stella Creasy, who has turned her Parrotgate shame into a ludicrous debate about civility in politics. Whereas actually, Stella Creasy, we're just having a good old laugh at your expense. And sometimes that's allowed when you do something in public life pretty stupid. So if you haven't caught up with this, Stella Creasy posted a now deleted video where she was meant to be a Labour MP, yet seemed to have no idea about the wonderful breed of London parakeets. Luckily, though, as always, I've got the receipts. This is the now deleted video.
So up there is a parrot. If you have lost a parrot, not a parakeet, there is a parrot on the loose in Lloyd Park. It's right now, it's about 4:30, and we're in the kind of island section of Lloyd Park. I'll try and post some pictures up of it, but if you've lost an actual parrot, because it's too big to be a parakeet.
I mean, she's not the sharpest tool. As Charlotte Henry posted, how can a London MP not know about the London parakeets? But Stella Creasy, because she's one of these leftists who can never laugh at herself. You know, she is such a serious individual. And she wasn't just caught out in a foolish mistake. You know, if this were me, I would have held my hands up. God knows I do it enough, right? I've made mistakes. Got this one wrong. Please laugh at me. Let's laugh together. And to begin with, clearly she was advised that that's what she would do. So she posted a picture of herself with a parrot and said, honestly, Twitter, this is all very silly. And so say all of us in Walthamstow. But when she started to get some gentle ribbing on X, and let's just remember for a second, I mean, Reform UK have just had one of their senior spokespeople bludgeoned to death. Like, this is just jokes, right? Like some soft ribbing at her expense. She couldn't cope. So she took to X to make a new video where initially she tried to explain that she does indeed know the difference between a parrot and a parakeet. Watch.
I'm making this video to respond to the journalists who've been in touch with me today, not because we've got a new Prime Minister with a new policy agenda to want to know what my thoughts are or what it might mean for my local community. No. They want to cover the fact that I, as a local MP, thought I was helping to reunite a lost pet with its owner yesterday by making a video about a bird I saw in my local park. So yesterday I was with my kids in my local park in Lloyd Park in Walthamstow, and there was a green bird that seemed very tame because it allowed us to get very close to it. And it was quite big. Now, yes, I know what parakeets are. We've had parakeets flying around Walthamstow for donkey's years, especially on the Walthamstow marshes. Frankly, I always thought they were a smaller bird and a social bird, so you would always see them in pairs. So seeing a bird that seemed a bit bigger on its own, that seemed quite tame, I thought it might be somebody's parrot. And I thought, I'll do a quick video, see if I can help reunite it with its owner. Nothing more serious than that. Now, it turns out it probably was a parakeet. I can't believe that that's actually news, but apparently so.
Stella, we're just laughing at you. That's it. You turned this into news. We were having a joke, right? We were just laughing. Oh, she doesn't know the difference. It's funny. You've now turned this into news by working yourself into a frenzy, suggesting that this little joke is why people no longer want to enter public life. Watch. Mainstream media lying to you again? Get the real story here. Dan Wotton Outspoken, no spin, no bias, no censorship. Subscribe for free and let's go.
If we make public life an environment where only those people who know absolutely everything about anything and are always right can be, well, I don't think any of us would like the outcome, because it wouldn't actually be very representative of the wider British public. And I'll wager most people watching this video haven't really thought in depth about the difference between parrots and parakeets. And I think most people watching this would think it wasn't really news, and I was just trying to do a nice thing of trying to help reunite somebody with what I thought was a lost pet. But it does trouble me that a lot of people say to me, I wouldn't want to do your job because of the abuse, because of the constant negativity that you face as a member of Parliament. I will not lose any sleep over the fact I didn't know the difference between a parrot and a parakeet. It's been a learning opportunity for me. But I will worry about our democracy and our public life if we make it impossible for normal people who don't know everything about everything to be able to be part of it. And that's the real story.
Okay, make it stop. Okay, so firstly, did you notice the video started with her claiming she did know the difference, then by the end she admitted she didn't, okay? Secondly, abuse? It was funny. Stella Creasy, we were having a joke. We were laughing at you. You are hardly a paragon of virtue yourself when speaking about Brexiteers, sweetie. So spare us the moral crusade on this one, maybe, when Anne Widdecombe has just been bludgeoned to death 21 times with a hammer. That is abuse. As Guido Fawkes pointed out, Stella Creasy claims she is worried about our democracy in public life after claiming one of 50,000 feral parakeets in London was a lost pet parrot. See, it's funny. Jack Hadfield of Reform UK, Labour MP, receives the tiniest bit of stick for posting something stupid, immediately has a meltdown and says people calling her a moron is a threat to democracy and public life. Isabel Oakeshott wrote, while you are very annoying and wrong about almost everything, there is no shame in a bird from Walthamstow not knowing the difference between a fat parakeet and a parrot. Stella, of course, always wanting to make a political point. Is there shame in taking millions of pounds in political donations and repeatedly refusing to account for it in its provenance, asking for a non-feathered friend? There was some serious criticism of Stella too, though. I'm not saying everyone viewed it as a joke. Like Turning Point UK posted, you're a pretty vile individual who campaigns for radical abortion laws, please resign. And businessman Lance Foreman added, what troubles me is that you're supposed to be running the country and you're wasting time with this idiocy trying to explain yourself. Just accept you're a waste of space and resign. It would do us all a favour. Well, Stella wasn't having that. She posted, a proponent of Brexit thinks I need to resign because of my lack of knowledge of parrot anatomy. You be you, Twitter. When LBM Ancona, though, sort of got the tone of this right, posting, Stella, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Your parrot parakeet video and this new one has made my week. Thank you. It is exactly what the country needed. Stella, again, missed the point. We're laughing at you and that's okay. To be honest, Elby, the abuse and calls for me to be shot make it much less fun on here than it used to be. There's a sadness to that, as I agree we should all be able to laugh and not worry someone will take this seriously. I want to bring in the superstar panel, Lee Harris and Orla Minnie-Hayne, on this. Now, guys, I actually feel like I can comment on this because I've been in these moments, like I've been Stella Creasy, okay? I don't know if you remember, and I'm loathed to remind people, but I was mocked by the entire country when my, how do I put it, decision to lay some flowers at Buckingham Palace, filmed by someone on, I've never revealed this before, by the way, the advice of my GB News colleague Nigel Farage, became the #1 trending topic for about 24 hours. And you know what? I decided that in the midst of the late Queen's death, the country needed to have a bit of a laugh. And if the laugh happened to be at my expense, I was just going to sit there and take it, okay? Sometimes that's just what needs to happen. Orla, this wasn't serious. Like Anne Widdecombe being bludgeoned to death 21 times over the head with a hammer. That's serious, okay? This was a joke at your expense, yes, but it was a joke. But first, a quick word about Bubs Naturals and a supplement that is receiving a great deal of attention because of something I am obsessed with to support both physical performance and mental sharpness: creatine monohydrate. As you get older, maintaining strength, recovering properly, and keeping your energy levels up can require a bit more effort than it did in your 20s. Trust me, as someone in my 40s trying to stay fit, still focused on losing weight, I know the body may not bounce back quite as quickly, and it becomes increasingly clear that staying healthy is also about recovering intelligently, supporting your muscles, and properly fueling your body. Now, that is where Bubs Naturals Creatine Monohydrate comes in. Creatine, sometimes treated as though it's only for bodybuilders. That's not true, look at me. What it does, though, is help your body produce a quick energy during exercise and other high-intensity activities. So that means it can help support strength, power, lean muscle growth, and recovery. But its benefits not limited to the gym. Creatine also helps fuel the brain and can support focus, mental clarity, and cognitive performance. And it could not be easier to take, by the way. You simply mix 1 scoop into water, coffee, or a smoothie, whatever you were drinking, actually. There's no complicated routine. And importantly, Bubs does creatine properly. Its creatine monohydrate is made using CreaPure, which is widely regarded as the gold standard. No fillers, dyes, artificial additives, sweeteners, or unnecessary ingredients. Bubs Naturals, by the way, is really something you should know about. It also makes collagen peptides to support joints, skin, hair, nails, and recovery. Hydrate or dye electrolytes to support hydration and sustain energy. And MCT oil creamers to support energy and mental clarity. So, live better for longer. We want that, right? With Bubs Natural. And this is so exciting. For a limited time, Outspoken viewers and listeners can get 20% off their entire order. So just head to bubsnaturals.com and use the code Outspoken at checkout. So that is bubsnatural.com. The code Outspoken for 20% off your entire order. I've put a link in the description too. Oh, and by the way, after your purchase, they will ask where you heard about them. Please support the show and tell them that Outspoken sent you. But now, back to the show.
So I just need to confess, right? So where Stella is very close to where I live. And a few years ago, I rang my dad, God rest his soul, and told him that I had a parrot in the garden. And it was a parakeet, and everyone laughs, and it always comes up at dinner about me and the parrot, right? Just laugh about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
So it's
mean
actually an easy mistake.
Of course it is. I mean, you don't see many green birds in Essex and East London. But anyway, the point being that this woman, she's acting like she's David Attenborough, going on about bloody parrot. Who cares? The problem is, right, and the one thing, or one of the things about being British is the fact that we've got sense of humour. We laugh, we take the piss out of each other. Who cares? Now, you know, the thing is, just because you're an MP doesn't mean you can't laugh. Just own it. They show that if you show that you're human, if you own it. Instead, old Stella's going around Lloyd Park looking for a pirate to give back the parrot to. It's embarrassing. Just laugh at yourself, you stupid mare. And at the end of the day, you know, you're making this laugh about that. I tell you what you shouldn't laugh about, the fact that you voted against a rape gang inquiry, and you were the one, Stella Creasy was the one that put forward the complete decriminalisation of abortion. So she's, you know, there's so many more serious things, Stella. Stop being an idiot. And going back to my point earlier, I have written to that woman, as have many people, to tell her that in East London, in some of her mosques that are operating in Walthamstow, in Waltham Forest, there are grooming gangs operating that we have proof of, and the woman cannot even respond to an email. So do you know what, Stella? Everyone's going to laugh at you because you're a moron and you don't deserve to be an MP. And I tell you what, one day, do you know what? I want to see her one day, like in Mary Poppins, you know, the bird woman in Trafalgar Square feeding the birds. That will be her. Good.
Well, to be honest, that would be a more useful contribution. Honestly, if Stella Creasy was the new Trafalgar Square bird woman, it would be a far, far more useful thing for her to do than constantly banging on about Brexiteers being evil, Lee.
Although, in fairness, I do say touche to her comment to Isabel. I do think that was quite fun. But, you know, get over it. They're all a bunch of morons. There's so many more serious things to worry about. Stella, laugh at yourself. Yep. People have to be able to laugh at themselves. I do it all the time.
You do. Do you know, with my Buckingham Palace footage, Lee, this is quite cathartic for me. Someone actually reversed the footage And then it went even more viral because people then believed that I wasn't paying tribute to the late Queen. I was actually stealing the flowers. And then that got about another 20 million views around the world. So again, I know what this is like.
Yeah. Yeah, and Stella Creasy, I mean, we all know her. She epitomises for me everything that is wrong with the left, and some more. She is a moron. She's not very smart, and it's all about her, the virtue signaling, and the inability, I think, not to laugh at yourself is actually quite a serious point. The left have a problem with this. They genuinely aren't able to take criticism, and this is why it sort of feeds into this kind of woke mindset. Which is, you know, if you say anything wrong that they disapprove of, that, you know, they'll go through all of your social media posts, look for one thing that you said 15 years ago and absolutely destroy and cancel you. Well, you know, here's an example of an MP that, like you said, Dan, could have easily laughed this off. This would actually made her seem a little bit more human. Yeah. But then that following video, you know, where she's saying how serious this is about MPs' abuse and stuff, again, epitomizes exactly what's wrong with the left. They need to be able to lighten up. We need to be able to have sensible conversations and keep things in perspective. And like you said about the serious abuse that MPs are getting, which is very serious, and something like this can't even be put into the same sentence.
And look, I have been utterly clear, and you two both know this, ever since, I mean, Orla, you were with me when I found out about Anne being murdered. But I have been absolutely clear from that moment, she would hate it. She would absolutely hate it if her assassination was used to try and shut down free speech. Yeah. She would hate it. So that's why it's not that I'm invoking her in this story. I'm trying to make the point. There's something very different between having a laugh at people, poking fun at people, also seriously criticizing people like we have today and like we will do every single day, to hold power to account. All of that is very, very different than the sort of left-wing terrorism that we're seeing.
It's not even in the same league. It's not even in the same league, and it's insulting that people would suggest such a thing. Look, ultimately, you put yourself in the social, you know, in the media, or you put yourself out there as an MP or a councillor. You put yourself in you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't even think now. But, you know, you're going to ask for criticism. You put yourself out there, you're going to get criticised. You're going to get criticised if you say this, you get criticised if you say that, right? That's part and parcel of putting yourself out there. If you can't handle it, then don't do it. Go back and get a normal job in an office and just stay out of the limelight. So that's part and parcel. But to compare anything to what happened to Anne is an absolute disgrace. They're completely different levels. You know, and anybody, and I've said this, I've been very critical of everybody in lots of different parties. Do not use Anne's murder to politicise yourself, your agenda, and anything else. It is absolutely outrageous. And I'm, you know, again, so many people have come out and said, oh, how about my safety? How about my security? We're all at risk. We live in a really, really messed up world, right? And if you don't stand up and you don't say what you think and you don't put your agenda forward and you don't shout about the wrongdoings that we're experiencing in this country, then we will be lambs to the slaughter. So you are going to have to put yourself out there. And that does mean that you're at risk. But do you know what? That is the price that we've got to pay to get our country back. And free speech is one of those things. People don't like it, they're going to come for you. End of story. It's the price.